The past 2 years have probably been the weakest movie watching time in my entire life. I stopped being experimental, stopped watching things that plagued my curiosity, that made me step out of my comfort zone. I have just continuously been soullessly rehashing on the most popular or most highly rated shows and movies, and they are extremely boring. I like watching stuff that are completely underrated and not that much in the public eye. Stuff that I never should see myself watching. Stuff that are so criminally underrated that it should actually be a war crime. The only thing I watch now are the big budget flicks, the superhero movies, the billion-dollar franchises. I have unknowingly become the person I critique the most. Why is this? How have I fallen from someone that liked watching passion projects and well-written movies? How have I become so average? Hollywood has always been a business from the early age. The end goal was always to make the most capital. But the difference between now and then is now quite clear. It's simple. In the years past, Hollywood's focus was only on creating good content and strengthening their brands. But in big old 2023, it's not just always about money. Back in the George Lucas and Martin Scorsese era, the only way to become a well-realized director was simple: make better movies. In the modern age, however, everything has now changed. A director could have the most brilliantly written movies with well fleshed out characters and will still tank in the box office. This has now led to Hollywood and the businessmen behind the studios to figuring out one simple trick: just do what everyone else is doing. And what now comes out in the process is an entire industry that begins to copy each other. Everything feels the same. There are set points when it comes to entertainment. These are particular points in our history when something came in and shifted the way we look at various forms of entertainment. Eminem proved that rap music can be a form of art that can be used to express oneself. Lil Wayne proved that music could be melodic and doesn't need to be about the hard-hitting verses and mostly more about the vibe. The Last of Us proved that gaming could be much more than just gameplay, graphics, and mechanics. It can be a source of telling a compelling and emotional story with well thought out and fleshed out characters. And The Avengers was the catalyst point where studios realized that you really don't need creativity to have a very successful movie.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Seemingly the day that Hollywood changed for the worse was the day the first Avengers movie came out. A movie that perfectly expresses the, Avengers structure. A bunch of quips mixed in with a lot of likable and respectable actors with just some elements of story in there that blends everything together. And it worked really well. And then all of a sudden everyone was doing it. And this has now led to an industry where every single thing feels the same. Everyone just copies the other. Nothing stands out. Why would I waste another 2 hours of my life watching something that is set in a different world but the tone and pacing feels the same to the last 4 movies I saw in the theater? It's sad to say, but the industry has stopped evolving and is now in a fast pace to declining instead. In the end, you know who suffers the most? The independent creators. Indie films have always had their little bubble in Hollywood. They don't have the most massive of budgets, so they have to compromise with storytelling. And in a normal world, the indie film should get more attention because of Hollywood's lack of creativity, right? Right? Well, not really. The dark shadow that Hollywood casts doesn't just affect it alone, but every single cornerstone of the movie industry. Do you really think that after someone comes out of watching the latest failure of a movie by a major studio, they are going to say, "Hey, maybe I should give this unproven director and his story a try"? Nope. You know what they would do instead? Whip out their phones and do literally anything else. And this leads me to my next point.
And then Ronaldo!
Getting from Mansky. Lionel Messi around Zimmerman. Messi!
In every aspect of life, competition is necessary. No one can achieve true greatness if there were nobody around to compete and push them beyond por us otra. Why did I say that? Whether that be sports, food, TV stations, and even Hollywood, it was one of the driving forces. Directors competed with other directors for who had the better movies. Studios competed with other studios for who would have the best commercial movies. And although aspects of that still exist in today's world, now the terms of the competition has now changed from who can make the better titles to now who can take the most of your time. I mean, why do you think streaming exists? When Netflix came into fruition, there was something that I noticed. It made my life a lot easier. Having so many movies and shows at the press of a remote. It was a dream. But you also start to realize that except when you absolutely needed to, you never really left Netflix. Most of the time you would have spent watching something else or now went into Bridgerton. So every other studio realized this and really said,
"Hi, I'm BJ Lang. I'm an instructor at 321 Acting Studios in Los Angeles. Today, we're going to talk about copy."
And all of a sudden, there are more streaming services than Chelsea's senior squad members in 2023. And so the battle became all about your time. An all-out brawl for taking away your time from another streaming platform to theirs. So they bought more IPs, had a wide array of shows that appeal to everyone. They like to come out and say that streaming is the future of the industry, or streaming is a way for us to improve our catalog. But it's not. It's all about taking as much time and money from you. And that decision has led to a market that is so oversaturated that I don't even know who is releasing what anymore. It's just too much. And as I look at the studios going out in an all-out brawl with fellow studios for your time, I begin to wonder. They do know that competition is no longer just from their fellow studios anymore, right?
Tom sounds kind of Asian. Tom?
YouTube is literally the thing I have used the most of my time on. It's an outlet into creative people. Yes, YouTube is the main source of the copycat and certainly there is oversaturation, but YouTube is different. It's a platform with millions of videos and creators that you can choose from, and yes, I know this sounds like an ad for YouTube, but you should get the point, right? I easily spend hours on the platform. Why? Well, because I trust the YouTubers I watch. YouTube gives me that freedom of choice. Not that streaming doesn't, it's just that YouTube gives me the feeling that the creators I am watching are doing everything they do by themselves. No executive telling them what to do. There are certain creators who you find that you can just simply trust, believing that their next video will be better and more different than the last. Why would I give a chance to a movie created by creatively bankrupt studios when I can watch an individual YouTuber who puts in effort and any amount of creativity they want in their videos? Why would I waste 2 hours of my life watching unproven movies and shows when I could literally spend those same 2 hours watching YouTubers I trust to give me laughter, joy, and entertainment guaranteed? The end goal for where creativity goes for most people is no longer Hollywood. Seriously, ask any 8-year-old what they want to be when they grow up, and the name YouTube will pop up more often than you think. And YouTube isn't just the only place taking people's attention away from Hollywood. Oh! It's gonna be the death of us all. We live in a world where the attention span of the average person is like minus 17 seconds. So explain to me how people are going to give movies chances when they can see hundreds if not thousands of individual creativity that's only under a minute long. A lot of people like to allot blame for the reason why many people don't go out to see movies as much anymore. And they like to call out fatigue, the economy, not trusting studios, and those are all valid points. But the one thing they seem to ignore is that as Hollywood declines in its creativity and stops hiring creative minds, or at least letting these creative minds do their thing, those creative minds are still out there. It's just that they are now on the YouTubes and TikToks of the world. There is a beauty, a certain innocence about being a child. Nothing makes sense in the world, so you make as many mistakes as possible to learn from them. Nothing matches the curiosity, the stupidity, and more importantly, the imagination. When we were younger, the concept of time never mattered. We could do whatever we wanted, watch whatever we wanted. Nothing really mattered. When I was 10, I could sit down and watch marathons of shows and movies. I never felt that I was wasting time. It's different now that we're grown. We have responsibilities. Some have kids, some have work. We don't have time anymore. At the end of the day, the other points that I made may make sense. There may be some of the reasons why I'm scared of giving movies chances. but they all still rotate around time. And I probably don't know if I have much of it to be wasting anymore. A couple of months ago, I saw a show called Velma get released on HBO Max, and it got ripped to shreds by fans of Scooby-Doo and just really any human being with a walking brain. And I have a history of defending movies that the general public seem to hate. And because of this, I went ahead and watched every agonizing second of this shit show. Poof, gone. Those are hours of my life I'm never getting back. Hours I could have been using to, I don't know, make more videos. Hours I could have been using to be far more productive. Gone. I don't know if I still have much time to give. I don't want to grow up. Jesus, I'm almost 20. I know that doesn't seem old, but it does. To me at least. I don't have time to be wasting on things that I probably won't like anymore. I really don't want to grow up, but I have to. And growing up means making choices and being picky with what you do, with your time. Because I may not have much of it left. What if next week is the end? How did I live my life? Given a chance to a show like Velma? What a waste. I know it's stupid to be trying to compare those two things, but I do anyways. Look, I don't hate Hollywood. It's my dream to have some of my ideas on the big screen someday. But as much as I love the industry, I can't keep lying and protecting people who are trying to knock back creativity a few 70 years back. I just can't. But maybe there's still hope. Recently, I gave a chance to a movie that I never would have seen myself watch, and it's probably the third best thing I've watched all year. Maybe the movie industry is finally taking steps back to creativity. Still, that's all just speculation. But maybe out there, somewhere, is a show or movie that is the greatest thing ever, but I'll never see it because I'm scared of giving movies a chance. Yeah, that's it.